Is you've got King's Club baccarat for the professional player, full time or side hustle. Up to you to decide how you like it to be. Trying to get all my electronics right since I couldn't get it done last night. Okay, I think we're on the air and rolling. So let's see if we get some folks in here. This could uh, this could possibly be one of the more consequential shows we've had. That's at least informatively consequential. I've made a decision that I'm going to move ahead and show this actuarial style for everyone to see and decide on your own. And I'll tell you why I'm doing it, because actually it's because of the way things are drawing down. Hey, Chuck Ritter, how you doing, buddy? So, Chuck, we're going to go ahead and show the actuarial way, and then a couple of ways that it can be played, so that it's out there and everybody can practice it and do it on their own, and everybody can throw it away if they want it, or they can adopt it if they want it. I'm certainly not. I will never go on the record as saying that I'm certain that the actuarial way is just as good as chopping pairs, quads, and quints. Chopping pairs, quads, and quints is a steady, predictable way to do it. That, yes, it can catch a little buzzsaw every now and then, because we all know that you can have back-to-back six in a rows of either banker or player, and that will spoil it. But if you don't have the triple bet, if you're calling your own audibles, you can make your own decisions as you go. There's also all kinds of ways that we can do what we're doing. Um, for instance, a place like uh, let's say at the Palms in Las Vegas, where they have a dozen baccarat tables, you could just simply walk around and wait for a six in a row to hit. You've got a six in a row that hits. Okay, so if you had played the chop pair, if you had played the chop quad, if you had played the chop quint, you're down three bets right now. But we know that the game in and of itself does have its own actuarial way of operating. And so once you do have a six up there, you rarely will have another six after it. And you certainly rarely will have a third six in a row or eight in a row after it. And so you're playing toward getting a chop pair, quad, or quint. So if you can find the landscape that best suits you, you can go ahead and do it. Or you can do it this way. Let's say you see a septuplet out there, or a seven, a eight, or a nine, and then you're observing, and there's another triplet, quad, quint there. You can jump in and make your big bet right there that that one's not going to go to the septuplet, and you may have one bet and walk. What I'm saying is, find the landscape that best suits you getting a one bet win and getting out. And you can do that more readily when you have a dozen tables that you're staring at. I say actuarial so often because that is what the game is. It is a predictable nature. Hey, Gil, Trish, Joseph, Bill Lotta. This is going to be somewhat of a consequential night, because I'm going to go ahead and let everybody know that we are coming to an end. We're drawing this thing down to where the next phase we're going to have is either we're all released to the wild to play on our own and make the money, and no one will be happier than me, or we put together the limited partnership of people that are putting money up, and we decide when we're going to play, and or when I'm going to play, and when I'm going to make trips and what we're going to do, and then I will be doing live shows on how it worked on this particular night. But we're going to have to decide how we're going to go forward from this, as we are winding down now, and so that's why I'm going to show the full actuarial way tonight. And as I've said earlier, a few minutes ago, I'm not sold on this actuarial way as being anything other than an interim way to try to get some wins as we are building toward chop the pair, chop the quad, chop the quint. Those three bets are the most solid bets we've ever had, and I'm very satisfied with them. I'm particularly satisfied if you have the 12 tables like you have at the Palms, where you can choose your own landscape. I'm very, very happy there. So here is what we have here. So this is the way I'm going to play it tonight, and there's several ways you can play it, but we're going to start with an actuarial bet. Tonight I'm only going to play actuarial. So this is just this tonight's show is just for a demonstration. It could lose $1 million. It doesn't matter. This is for demonstration only. This is actuarial baccarat, If we lose the bet number one, meaning there are three, like on the left side, these are the 8 choices, the 8 possible triplets that you could have in baccarat. You can have a string of bankers, a banker banker player, a banker player banker, a banker player player, a player banker banker, a player banker player, a player player banker, and a player player player. I do the same thing when we're doing horse racing. I say, okay, if you want to bet that 2 horses are going to run first and second in a race, meaning the exacta bet, and there are 6 horses in the race. Well, you choose 2 of them, and you choose who you want first and who you want second, or you box them to where each one is first and second. But you also can box 3 of them. And if you box 3 of them, there are 6 possible outcomes. If you box 4 of them, there are 12 possible outcomes. If you box more, there's 24, there's 60, it keeps going. In baccarat, there are 3 possible outcomes, and so there are 8 possible triplets, and there they are. The responses are over here to the right. If you have banker, 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 the actuarial response is to play player, banker, banker as a response to those 3. Now, if you see it, the player, banker, banker is the same response for banker, banker, player. So, of the 8 possible triplets, there are 4 pairs as responses to those 8. If you see them, you see the player, banker, banker is twice, the banker, banker, player is twice, the player, player, banker is twice, and the banker, player, player is twice. So those are paired up responses to those 8 triplets that could happen. Now, if we had started this night, I've already shuffled the deck, and I played 3 hands so that we have an outcome to begin an actuarial bet. And I'm going to play a simple $10 martingale. That's what I'm going to play. And I'm just going to ride it. But we are going to use this one calculation. If we lose the very first bet of our response to a 3, we're going to recalculate the bet going for the next time. Meaning, if it's banker, 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 we're going to play player, banker, banker. But if the banker comes out again, or to where it's again, we would recalculate it. So we'll go forward from this and see. But you also can just simply, like I've done it many times this way. So I've said banker, banker, banker. I'm going to play player, banker, banker. And if I lose on the player, meaning that the banker goes 4 times, I move straight over and I bet that the banker's going to go 5 or 6. And I go ahead and do it. And anytime I get a win, I reset. But tonight, because of talking to some other folks in the kingdom, I'm going to do it this way. I was talking to Soup Campbell about it. And Soup Campbell likes to lose bet 1, recalculate. Win bet 1, he likes to continue on and play bets 2 and 3, thinking that it's on a streak. And so all of these things are just based on your own calculation. You can do it any way you want to do it. I'm showing them to you so everybody knows exactly what they're looking at, and so that they know what to do. Hey, Crystal Lewis, Gil, Kevin, Josh likes soccer. All right, maybe the first time I've seen you. Nice, welcome aboard. This is Professional Baccarat, Josh. But tonight we're showing an actuarial science rather than our straight hard way of going and getting the money. So whatever the outcomes are tonight doesn't matter. I'm going to play $10 martingale, and let's see if we can win $100. We've got, well, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll just go ahead and lose 125 right now so that, well, no, I can't do that because if I win the banker, they're going to take the commission anyway. So I'll show you what happened on the first 3 hands that I played here because I played like 3 ghost hands, as they call them. And so if you've been playing the baseball bet, forget the Detroit Tigers. God bless those guys. Gee whiz, man. So never play a baseball bet on that 94% rule late in the season. Don't do it because late in the season, the games play out differently. I never should have recommended that. But we began with 3 bankers, just like that. So if we'd have started with the banker baseball bet, we'd have won the first one. And if you had decided I'm going to flat bet the banker until the cows come home, well, you've already won 3 bets and you can retire because the way we bet it, you've got a lot of money there. But if you see this, banker, 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 the bet is going to be player, banker, banker. Now tonight, if we win the player bet, we're going to play it on out, 2 and 3. If we lose the player bet, we're going to have to recalculate, but that would still be 3 straight bankers. because it would be four straight bankers then. And so we would simply be repeating the player bet then. And that's where Soup Campbell was coming up with his own actuarial way of doing it. So, so what we have here is we have a player bet for $10 because, as I said, I'm going to martingale this thing. If I make a misstep, you guys are watching me, so I'm trying to think and speak as I go. And when I start to try and walk and chew gum at the same time, anything could happen. So we got a $10 bet right now. We're going to martingale it. That's the player response right there. First response to the banker, 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 which you see there. So we're betting that the player is the winner here. And as you see, it did. It won 1-0. 1-0 are just as good as 9-0 is just as good as 9-8. So it doesn't matter. So we put $10 up on the board. So now we're at 3,292,135, and we are at the last three are banker, banker, player. Banker, banker, player is right there. So it still calls for the same corresponding bet to stay with the player and bet banker, banker. But as Soup Campbell said, when you win the first bet, carry it on out. So we won the first bet here. So following Soup Campbell's advice on tonight's session, you could play it any way you want. But this is banker, banker, player. It would call for you to go to here now, player, banker, banker. But Soup says if you win the first bet, ride it out because he thinks it's on a streak. So, well, okay, so tonight we will ride it out. We'll play another $10 bet, this time on the player since the banker won. Now, if this bet loses, we're going to recalculate. Because win bet one, we play it out. Lose bet one, we recalculate. You probably can't read that, but then again, here I am. I'm an old man. I still write cursive, so I'm trying to write cursive. So we are going to play the second bet, a banker bet now, meaning this bet right here. We're going to bet $10 on the banker. We have won a $10 bet, so this is a $10 bet on the banker. We're playing martingale. And it won. This winner, Soup says, continue on. If you win it, continue on. So now we're going to play the third bet, and that is another banker. We've won with the player, we won with the banker, we won with the banker. So we're still at a $10 bet. So this bet repeats $10 on the banker. Win or lose, this is going to complete our actuarial cycle of the first three bets. And the player won. And so now we're $10 down, and we're going to make a new set of bets because we completed the cycle. This time, we have a player, banker, player. When we come down here, we have player, banker, player here, which means our first bet is going to be $20 because we're down a $10 unit. We're going to martingale to $20, and we're going to bet player, player, banker. Now, just for tonight now, if this player bet loses, we're going to have to recalculate. So let's go ahead and make this player bet $20 and see what happens to us. Martingaling to 20. All right, that lost. So the next bet's $40, but it's going to recalculate now, according to Soup. Soup said, let's go ahead and recalculate it. So we're going to drop this out, and we got banker, player, banker. Banker, player, banker is here. So I think this is a $40 bet. See, I'm going to lose the martingale numbers right now because I go back and forth. Let's bet $40 on banker right here, and we will see what we get. Doesn't matter if we're going to lose. This is all instructive night. So we won our $40 bet. That's our martingale. Now, that was, if we back it up, that was a banker, player, banker. A banker, player, banker called for us to make a banker bet here. Now we won it, so there was two bankers in a row. Soup says write it on out since we won the first one, which means that we're going to bet for a third banker in a row. So we're going to bet for a third banker in a row. It's going to be a $10 bet because the martingale came out and won on the 40. We lost the 10, the 20, we won the 40. So we're up 3 martingale bets right now. So we've already won 3 bets tonight, depending on how much you were betting. But we're betting $10 just to show it. So we're going to play this out now because we won the first bet. So we're going to play banker and player, depending on how it goes. This is the banker bet for $10. The banker bet for $10. And it wins. So that continued it on. So that was the second bet. And it was a bet in response to banker, player, banker. So we won banker, banker. So now we have a $10 bet on player because we've won the first 2. This is actuarial only, meaning this is a mathematical calculation. And I'm going to branch off after we win the next bet and tell you what I mean by that. But let's play $10 on the player here. Win or lose, we're going to make a new calculation. And we won. So right now we would make a new recalculation based on banker, banker, player. We'd go to banker, banker, player, and we'd begin right there. But I'm not going to begin now because I think we've proven enough for tonight, actuarially. So I got 2 more things I'd like to cover with you. Okay, so we arrived at baccarat as being the way to win the game because we had come pretty close to winning red-black all the time at roulette. And the more I looked at the roulette table of the reds and the blacks and the reds and the blacks, the more I began to think of, as we talked about back in the day, this is how we're going to win in the casino. By leaving the roulette of the 18 on each side and dealing with the 2 zeros. We'll take the 2 zeros off the table. We'll take 17 of the reds off the table, 17 of the blacks off the table, and we will play red and blue only, baccarat, 1-on-1. And we'll look at it as though it's a coin toss, because that's what it is. Some people can actually just go to the casino, throw caution to the wind, toss a coin in the air and say, heads is banker, tails is player. And whatever their coin gives them, that's the bet they make, because it's a coin toss. And we don't like to do it that way because we like to find the actuarial science behind this that's going to show you what's going to win. Because, okay, so if you have 20 hands, you might have 15 bankers and 5 players. But we do know this. If you have thousands of hands, it's going to come out about 1% difference favoring the banker. The same way if you flip a coin, it can come up heads so many times in a row, or it can come up tails so many times in a row. But over the course of thousands of flips, it comes out pretty doggone even. And that's because it's an actuarial science that is predictable. And that's why we're playing this game and trying to find the ways to predict it. This is a mathematician named William Penny came up with this coin toss way of doing it. He didn't know anything about baccarat. He hasn't said anything about baccarat. He's long in the grave anyway. But he didn't say anything about baccarat. He was doing a mathematical test in his permutations class of what is heads and what is tails. And that is what led us to this, to where we understand baccarat is a heads and tails game. Yes, there's a little bit of an edge to the player, to the banker, just simply because of the way they draw the cards. It gives the banker a little bit of an edge. And of course, in this layout right here that we're looking at, well, banker has won 7 and player has won 3. But one of the other things to look at here, let me go ahead and just do this before I sign off tonight. I want to run some no bets. Let me put 10 more no bets up here. There's one. So let's just have some fun here. There's 10 more no bets. This is the second. I picked 10 just out of random thing. So here's 3. Shoot, I could do this all night long. This is what I do anyway. I do these things. I use that metaphor of we found a tear in the fabric of this doggone game, and we walked through that tear, and that led us on the other side to where we saw the game differently, and we saw a big road that allowed us to act like we were a corner. And we can stare at the big road just like it's a dead body, and we can perform an autopsy on that big road and find out how did it get here, what did it become. And once we have done enough autopsies to where we quote unquote have like thousands of cadavers in the morgue, Then we begin to formulate an actuarial science on where are the weaknesses in this game. And that's what brought us to the chop pair, chop quad, chop quint. This is the most reliable 3 bets that you can make in the game. Do they win every time? No. Do they win real often once you've got a landscape that you like? Yes. Do they win more often than not, just straight up? Yes. Do they win all the time when you are coupling it with a powerful +5, -4 D'Alembert? Yes. And that's the whole key to it. You've got to have enough bankroll. You've got to have the selection that you're going to do. You've got to have the D'Alembert betting that you're going to do. And if you will have enough patience to play for lower goals in your sessions, large bankroll, low goal session, and then play it exactly right, you win for the rest of your life. You get in trouble by trying to play for too big of a bets given your size of your bankroll. You get in trouble by losing your patience and jumping off the edge of the earth and making the wrong bets. And the deer in the headlights look when something goes wrong. You go, oh my God, how could that happen? Don't ever say it, because whatever just happened can happen because it did happen. And anything can happen in this game. But it is an actuarial science that we have figured out how to do it. So just go beat it and beat it every time. Let's take a look at a big road right now. We're going to step back on the other side into the morgue. Here it is. So here's what you see here. I'm going to write these down as we go, if I can. Here we go. I want to do this with you guys right now. So forget the actuarial. Let's say we sat down at this table and we were going to do one baseball bet. And let's say we're going to bet $100. Oh, no, I'm going to bet 125. So I'm going to bet 125. I'm going to go plus 125 on losses. I'm going to go minus 100 on the wins. You're still with me? That's what we're going to do. So we're going to bet baseball bet to start with. We're going to martingale as many as 3 bets as necessary to win a banker bet. And I'm not going to consider the commission because I'm going to consider we're playing $25 table, no commission. There's the first win. We're plus 125. That win right there. So now we're going to wait for 3 bets. For 2 bets, and we are going to try to chop. So here is the 2 bets. We bet the chop and we lost. So we lost $100. So now we're going to wait for another pair, and we found it right there. And we go up 125. So that's a $225 bet, and we lost again. Right there. The triplets were losses. They did the pair did not chop. Now we have no pair here, and now we have a pair here. So we're going to bet 325, and there's the win. It chopped. So the next bet is down 4 units, a $225 bet coming. Pardon me. And we lost. Minus 225 here. We came back in after this, and we bet 325, and we lost. Then we bet 425, and we won. It chopped the quint. It didn't go to the SEP, it chopped the quint. We had a 425, we're going to bet 325 on the very next bet, down 4 units. There's the chop pair. Here, we're going to bet 225, and it chopped the pair again. Here, we're going to bet 125, and it chopped the pair again. So we had a full session here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wins, and 4 losses. There they are. 6 wins. That was the very first bet. We went down. I should have gone all the way to $25. Instead, I went ahead and bet $100 there, but that's okay. It should have gone to $25 there. But just go ahead and ride with it. And let's do the minuses. 325, 425, 525, 550, minus 875. We've got plus 125 here, plus 325. That's 450. That's 850, 875, 975, 1075, 1175, 1200, 1425, 1525, plus 1550. There's your difference right there. That is, I think it's $675. So we won $675 right here just playing chop pair, chop quad, chop quint. And that's even beginning with the two losses right there. One there. Then we had loss, loss, win, 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 win. That's why I believe so much more strongly in the chop pair, chop quad, chop quint. We're going to make our money. And with this situation here, let's go ahead and have a little bit more fun. Let's look at the bankers. 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 bankers. 14 Bs. Here come the players. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12. And guess what? 14 bankers and 12 players comes out to almost the exact percentage, even after only 26 hands. That's exactly the percentage edge that the banker should hold. Doesn't always happen, just saying this is the way it should be doing. This is why I always come back to saying the game is actuarial. You just have to get inside the numbers and work them. We're going to keep working like this. You can see I've got some energy in my voice tonight. Last night, the technical thing overwhelmed me, and I was also wanting to climb a tower in Detroit and take out some tigers. But thanks, Gil. Yeah. But let's stick together here, and we're gonna march this thing down the road and see, do we actually add an actuarial game to it. And you may only use an actuarial game at the beginning just to get yourself in a position, and intermittently going through, if you're the only person at the table, just to keep the games going. You might play the actuarial at a real minimum bet. You might play the actuarial at martingale only, but you're always going to play the chop quad, chop quint, and chop pair, chop quad, chop quint. You're always going to play that D'Alembert, plus 4 units, down 5 units. Let's keep driving this home to where everybody's got it, because I want everybody winning. And we do have in the LLC account that I have for the guys that are in this bet together, we've got escrowed $12,000. That's how much is in the account right now. We had 16,000, but there was some that asked for their money back, so they got it back. There is $12,000 in the account right now, and we can decide, do we go forward with 12,000 and try to make some money out of it, or do we try to raise it up to $100,000 and go play that way? We're going to have to decide how we do this, or do we just simply return the 12,000? So it's I'm you guys are my family, so however you want to do it, we're going to do it. But if you want to go forward and do some play, then I'm more than prepared to do that. If more people want to throw money at it, I'm welcome to do that. If more people don't want to, but want to continue with the show for a few more weeks, we will do that. But I think in a few more weeks, we will transition the show to either more of a report of what happened at the live table, or we're going to go ahead and close it down and say we have arrived at the place to where we can't play baccarat any better than we're playing it. Because I know we're at about a 98% now, because we do win every doggone night with these simulations. And there are people out there, Chuck and Bill Latta in particular, King John's playing, and there are some others. Casey Steve has played. There are some others who are playing on random opportunities, and so we can continue that way too. But I want everybody to know this is a blessing. We have put in a lot of work to get to this point, and we're seeing the results of it that are at about a 98 percentile win rate. But the actual play, we're at 100% win rate, because we win every doggone night. And we won tonight, even martingaling the doggone actuarial side. You saw it. The biggest bet we ever had was $40. So that's really 10, 20, 40. That's really only two martingale losses. And we won the martingale bets up to about, I think we were at plus $60 when we shut it down. But and then we won $675. Dell and Bearing just 1, 2, 3, 10 hands. We played 10 hands, Dellenberry, 125 up, 125 down, 100. So we know how we do it. Send me an email, ask me any questions you have, because we are family and this is how we work it. But thanks for being here tonight. Sorry that I kept you 30 minutes, but I wanted to cover this actuarial style, and I wanted to make sure that everybody knew that I know what this is. This is all 8 possible triplets here, all 8 of them. And the 8 possible triplets have 4 possible couplet responses. Now, you can choose to respond to this. If you lose the player bet, you can continue on. Soup Campbell's idea is to say, if you lose the first one, recalculate. His idea is if you win the first one, go ahead and write it all out. So these are choices that we make as a group. So thank you, Chuck Ritter. If all of you guys hit the like button on the way out, you're welcome to what happened tonight. You saw it. We won both ways, actuarial and chop pair, chop quad, chop quint. We're going to win it every time. So let's get it done. Let's win it professional baccarat. That's what we're here for. We're not here for any kind of entertainment. And those other guys out there that are influencing and making a whole pile of money off of people watching them and getting all kinds of kicks, good for them. It's all a ruse. They're selling snake oil. There's no snake oil here. You can play this yourself right now on your own simulation after we shut down, and you will see it. If you play chop pair, chop quad, chop quint, even with an unfair landscape, and use the up 5 units, that could be units of 10, that could be units of 1,000, it doesn't matter what they are, down 4, and quit once you are up 5 units, you're going to win every time. Thanks to every one of you. Professional baccarat, for the full-time player, for the side-time hustler. We'll be back with you tomorrow night. Sorry about last night. I'm no techie, I'll tell you that. The doggone thing went haywire on me and I couldn't make it work. So I'll be back with you tomorrow night and we'll decide how we close this thing down when everybody is a winner. Thank you for joining the King. See you again real soon.